So I grew up in very humble beginnings. We lived near a trash dump of the town of Simsport for my first 7 years until we moved to a used trailer in Lettsworth, Louisiana. So we don't call it a mobile home in our family, it's a trailer. And over the years it had dilapidated. There were holes in the floor where the rainwater had seeped through. Um, but that's what we called home. So my mother broke her neck before I was born, and she was from Germany. So she never walked or ran or hopped that I knew of in my lifetime growing up. She was often the victim of muggings. People took advantage of her inability to understand English. So that was part of what made me start a spark in me of saying I needed to help someone who couldn't help themselves. As a child, I don't think I knew it at the time, but that's what I see. She, for instance, used a door-to-door salesman came around and she bought a $1,000 vacuum cleaner, which she could not afford. And I looked up the law that said you could rescind the contract within 3 days for a door-to-door sale, so I did. So again, that was another, this shouldn't be allowed, and I'm glad there's a law to help people like that. And I think that the other thing that probably solidified my need or desire to seek justice and go to law school was my brother, my youngest brother, was traumatically injured by being run over by a train when he was 9 years old and lost his leg. And I thought this shouldn't have, there should be some laws to help those who are injured. So those are things that were huge impacts in my life that sent me on the trajectory to law school, I believe.
When we talk about first day at law school,
Okay.
we're sitting in an auditorium at LSU Law School, and they say, look to your left and look to your right. One of you will not be here at graduation. So they were telling you there's a third attrition rate, and they kept to their word, true to their word. We started out with 300 in my class for law school, and we graduated with 200. So they were accurate. And the mindset was that throughout law school. It's dog eat dog, fend for yourself. There was no, the faculty, the school administration did not encourage camaraderie or cooperation. It was very, very competitive. And I remember, so I started law school. I had, Thomas was 10 months old. So he was just starting to walk when I started the first year of law school. Then it's 3 years. And so they call you a 1L, 2L, 3L is how you're referred to. And so between my second and third year that summer, Elizabeth, my second child, was born. So I was pregnant with her during my 2L, my second year. And I hid it for a long time because during the first year I made law review, which is the top 10% of the class at the end of the first year, because it's such a stressful first year. There was a high dropout rate. And so I made law review. So that made it even more competitive. So when I became pregnant, I hid it for the longest time. And finally, someone figured it out, and I could hear them talking in the hall. Well, good, maybe she'll drop out and I'll get her spot. Because the next spot you were looking for if you didn't make law review is you wanted to be Order of the Coif, which is the top 10% at the third year upon graduation, which is not always the same as the first year top 10%. So that tells you, they weren't happy I was pregnant. They were happy I was pregnant because I might quit law school.
Well, I started my own law office March 3rd, 2003, so 19 years ago. And I did it because where I worked was never a place I felt like expressed the values of being family oriented, that kids were allowed to come. Clients were important just because they were people, and we recognized them as that and someone who needed help. It was a leap of faith to go out there and start my own business. Being a small business owner, a female business owner, was not something you could do without lots of help and having people that believed in you, like financial advisors, banking. You have to get loans, you have to get clients. I as our professional rules of conduct require, we had to have clients choose, do they want to stay with the old firm, do they want to go with me? And I was blessed that many chose to come with me. And so I was able to start a practice with a good caseload of clients. And I've been blessed that those clients have continued to refer people to me. And word of mouth, other attorneys have referred people to me, and I continue to help others 19 years later with my own place.